That comic podcast.
Hello. Welcome to That Comic Podcast. I'm your host, Menti, and with me, as always, are my wonderful sidekicks. First, Mr. Moshko.
Hey, Menti, how you doing?
Hey, bud. How are you?
Welcome back.
Hey, thanks,
I'm
man.
still kicking it.
I love hearing that. And then there's P. Feature.
Hello, Minty. It is good to have you back.
You know what? No. Do it again.
Okay. Hello, Internet.
There we go. There it is. And then Buzzosaurus Rex.
What's up? Yo, you're back.
Oh, no.
Have a show without you.
Look, I appreciate all the wonderful sentiment, but I need my chainsaw. There it is.
Oh, it's family.
And then there's Lance in the pants. Lance a lot.
Cyclops, we're back. We're back.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. Thanks for coming back, Lance.
Yeah, thank you. And I have to say, the entire time in pre-pro, I was trying to figure out how your head is just floating there above your microphone.
Oh, good God. Because I have a camo shirt on? Is that...
We don't do pre-pro around here.
Man. So the quality of the humor hasn't gotten much better in the last couple of weeks. All right, well, to address the elephant in the room, yes, I've been gone for 2 weeks, and Lance has been gone for longer. I unfortunately had a death in the family, so I had to walk away, and these knuckleheads did a wonderful job keeping things afloat, and I can't say how much I appreciate all the work that they've been putting in, because I literally have done nothing comic-related for like 2 weeks. So I'm a little outside of the loop, so bear with me on this one. And then Lancelot here. Lancelot... Dude, yeah. He's been trying to get on a show for a while. He's been trying his damnedest, but we're so happy to have you back. And how many times do we actually have Buzz and Lance on the same show? Like that?
That's rare.
Maybe like once or twice.
I think
before.
There was one other time.
Yeah.
And what happened was essentially Buzz and Lance were like, oh, hey, we can do Monday. And that's great because that's when we record. And then we were like, well, sorry, Huey, you can't be here. So Huey's not here today because there's just too many voices. But yes, let's, with all that being said, all the niceties and the fun stuff out of the way, we do have a lot of news and a whole lot of books to get through. Plus, I'm rusty. So you guys are going to have to fill me in on a lot of what I missed in the last couple of weeks. But with all of that, instead of just rattling off everything, we don't have that kind of time because while this show is never an hour, we're going to try and make it one. So let's jump into the first bit of news today, and that is something that we kind of all suspected, even though this is rumor. Something tells me there's some truth behind this, and that's that there might actually be an MCU Supernatural Saga coming after this Doomsday kind of hodgepodge mutant saga thing that's happening right now. This end of the multiverse saga moving into the mutant saga. Apparently there's going to be a small supernatural saga in between. And that's kind of what we're seeing with Blade and so on and so forth. Now, this does come from Alex Perez and the Cosmic Circus. This is from a Q&A that they were having. And just to be very upfront, this was a very throwaway line from Alex Perez, but it's got everybody talking, where essentially somebody was trying to say, didn't you say that Mephisto was going to show up in Thunderbolts and he was going to be the person who owned Avengers Tower? And he goes, yeah, we wanted, the rumor was they wanted to get the Hotel Inferno in there, but they're going to be doing all sorts of stuff like that in the Supernatural Saga. And everyone went, I'm sorry, what did you just say? Whoops. What was that? And then at one point somebody asked him something else about Moon Knight, things like that, and more horror-esque stories. And he said, yeah, that kind of stuff is definitely coming in the Supernatural Saga.
Yeah.
Supernatural Saga sounds like it's a done deal, and it makes every rumor and news we've heard about Blade make a lot of sense. So is that something you want?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I would rather those characters come in that form than come separate and show, movie. Give me them all together. Give me them close together. Like
Make
what
it
we're seeing with
relevant.
we're seeing with Born Again.
Absolutely.
That can coincide with, they mentioned Ghost Rider a week or two ago. Popping up in Doomsday. So, what
I'm
what
starting
type
to wonder
of
if like
Supernatural
there's
Saga
this
can
new
there be
formula.
without? The who?
Ghost Rider. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, absolutely.
I wonder if there's this formula now where everybody's introduced as a team and then branches off into solo stuff.
It's not introduced as a team. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think that's the downside of the DC EU. I think people learn their lesson from that. I think the reason that they're talking about making it a saga opposed to what the old rumor was just the Midnight Suns and that Blade was going to helm that, is that you now can do Blade, Moon Knight Season 2, you could do another Werewolf by Night, there's so many characters that are already established that you can have Blade going around and picking up. So you do a story that brings Blade into the fold and then do it similar to the end of Eternals where he shows, well, at least you hear him, as we are introduced to the Black Knight's sword. So you can have that scene kind of play out just like we had with Coulson and with Ross in the first saga. Not saga. Yeah, saga. First phase, excuse me.
Yeah.
First phase.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot more like soft crossovers instead of like an actual tie-in. There's like a little, like these characters are popping in and out.
Team-ups,
yeah. Team Marvel's huge for team-ups.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Give me some 2-in-1s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we're kind of getting that. I mean, that is probably the future of a lot of these characters that have been already well established. Look at what we're going to be talking about Spider-Man much further on, but it's part of Sony's contract. I mean, if there is no team-up, there is no Spider-Man Sony movie. So team-ups are a big deal, man. They're huge to Marvel. I mean, it's how they sell a lot of books. Hell, the last Captain America run, what was it, issue 3, Mashko, where they throw Spider-Man on the cover? And we were like, well, it's going to be a great issue. And then he's there for 2 panels, and you're like, well, that was disappointing.
Bye-bye.
But it would be really nice to see Blade get the treatment that he deserves, and then you can still add Wesley Snipes to this whole story if you really want to open it up in that way. But I think they've done enough groundwork and proven that every time they do a supernatural story, it tends to be better than the rest. Agatha is a prime example. No one expected Agatha to be as good as it was. And
oh, God, it was great.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you got Raimi doing Doctor Strange 2, you know,
Absolutely.
making it horror. You know, and with Agatha's success, the popularity of Scarlet Witch, and honestly, Moon Knight, Blade, and Ghost Rider have been popular characters in all media platforms for a long time. They're not new. Like, they have huge fan bases.
Well, not even that.
Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
Totally. Love it.
Well, and with the rumor that Star Wars is going to do a horror movie, like the rumor that they're looking to branch into more adult topics, it's the same company. It would not surprise me after the success of Deadpool and Wolverine that you're going to get the same thing with Marvel and that franchise growing up a little bit as well. You know, so look, it makes a lot of sense. We got something similar to that with Moon Knight, and then we got at the same time Miss Marvel. So they started making projects for specific fan bases. And while the standard MCU fan didn't like it because they were kind of expecting every project to be for them, comic fans have known that forever, that not every book is for you.
Yeah, right. Yep.
You're not going to enjoy every book. I look at the list of what we all read each week, and I go, yeah, I'm not reading that. That's a not for me book. That's okay.
That's why comics rock.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And and I think people are starting to learn that. I think we're starting to understand. And you know who's taking the brunt of it? Not to deviate too long, good luck on this being an hour, is all the hot takes on Superman.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Snyder Writers.
It's all the Snyder Writers.
Writers.
The Snyder Writers.
It's gonna have a new nickname every week.
Yeah, love it. All right. Well, I mean, I think it's a win. I think it just further shows that Disney is trying to do what they can with their major properties and course correct and give people a little bit more what they want instead of just a throwaway movie. Now that throwaway movie is an entire saga.
Yeah.
It's cool. I like that. If it happens, Alex Perez, credible enough. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
This is all super rumors, so let's remember
there
that.
was some smack talk on My Time to Shine Hello last week.
Ooh. Well, there's
know.
smack talk on just My Time to Shine Hello all the time. But here's the thing.
That's her MO.
They're all off a lot. Like, everyone likes to say that, like, whoa, so-and-so's better than so-and-so. It's like, not really. They all have a pretty questionable track record, but that's to be expected. It's like it's like a weatherman. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
Good luck
It's
predicting
gonna
it. You got but so much information that you got to work off.
It's also someone, John Roca, we talk about him all the time. and we're going to talk about what was the Hulk information. But it's the same thing, that what he was talking about with that, and we'll get to it. That information he released, he broke from his own source within Marvel. This happened back in January or something like that, and now it's coming out again from someone else. So, 6-7 months later, you have the same information coming out, and now we're supposed to believe it. Why don't we believe it then?
Well, look, as we got My Time to Shine. Hello, we've got Alex Perez, and
we got
good old Daniel RPK for our next story. So,
I mean,
they keep us in business. So you know what? Thank you for all the wonderful work. I appreciate you. But yeah, Daniel RPK has recently come out and given some new plot points about the new Vision Quest show. And some of it sounds cool. Some of it sounds questionable to why it would be Vision Quest that they're doing it. And to be honest, the more rumors that come out about Vision Quest, the less I'm excited, because the less it seems like it's going to be the Vision book that I really liked, where he tried to be a family man with Viv
I think
and Vin.
they're like trying to really get creative with tying some loose ends.
It seems like that's what it
comes down to.
It feels like this is Captain America 4 all over again, where it's really more to tie loose ends than tell a better story. Now, I like Captain America 4. Let's know that going into my criticism there. But it does feel like that movie's purpose was to close off the Hulk loose ends more than it was to focus on Cap. Which it works if you are willing to do all that homework. You know what I mean? And it seems like Vision Quest is going to be somewhat similar, because the rumors is that a lot of it's going to take place in Madripoor, which we've heard a lot, right? Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the Power Broker, and Madripoor is the city where crime is legal. It's not true. It's not, but it pretty much is.
That's where you saw Hawkeye as Ronin just kill everybody.
And the big rumor, at least, I don't know how this is a big rumor, because to be honest with you, I have no idea who this character is. But the rumor is that Paladin is going to be making an appearance as far as an assassin and or hitman who's hunting down Vision as they're tracking down some of the technology behind Vision. And Paladin is a somewhat of a newer character, I believe, that got famous in Thunderbolt books and got famous in... by famous, I'm putting quotation marks here, because again, when I were like, Paladin, who the hell is Paladin?
The only reason I know this character is 5 or 6 years ago, there was a Marvel Legends wave that came out. I think it was actually the Deadpool wave, and or maybe it wasn't. I remember vaguely with Deadpool and Deathlock in that wave. I might be off, but that's the only reason I know this character.
Well, it looks like he was created by Jim Shooter. And he is the other book that he was famous for being a villain in was Heroes for Hire.
Oh,
yeah. Again, not a long-term villain here. This is which will probably be a throwaway villain. It's going to be Sidewinder.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
like Sidewinder.
So did I, but he was definitely underutilized.
yeah, definitely.
Or even the leader, for Christ's sake.
I think the leader will be back though for something. They got. I feel like they have to.
Definitely.
Listen, Sidewinder should be a mainstay Cap villain at this point. I mean, if we're going to have the Serpent Society, no, you don't think so?
I mean, look, but I'm not a fan of the Serpent Society
drugs and eating
in general.
And selling chicken.
I like what they did with him, but it's not like you're ever going to get me excited by somebody from Serpent Society.
Okay.
It's never going to happen. I'm never going to go, wow, Serpent. It's like when they announced Kang as the big villain. I was like,
yeah.
So
initially, until we got that great performance, but yeah, I get what you mean.
But even then, after that great performance, I would love to see him in a different role.
Yeah.
Because again, I don't care about Kang, and so it is what it is. Although, did you guys talk about the potential rumor of the next big villain for the next phase for the mutants?
No, we did not.
There's a big rumor that I want to say Atrocitus, even though I know that's entirely wrong. That's DC. That's the Red Lantern. Why can't I think of his name? He's from the Negative Zone.
Annihilus. Yeah,
Annihilus is rumored to be the big villain in the Annihilation wave and trying to do the Annihilation comic line. Now that they have Galactus and things like that in the universe, plus you can get real cosmic-y with the X-Men if you really want to.
Sure.
You can.
So. Yeah. I think it's a good villain, and I think the Annihilation Wave comes with your mindless CGI army that all Avengers movies need. So it seems perfect.
For the record, when you try to type in Annihilus, at least for me, it auto-corrected to animals.
Well, thank you for that tidbit, Machko.
Carry on.
Oh man.
All right. Well, I don't care about Paladin, but I do care about the Vision show if they make it that Vision run that I just fell in love with.
You don't care about the Power Broker?
No, not really. To be honest, no. Do you? Are you like, wow, Power Broker's going to be in Vision Quest? I got to watch it now.
Honestly, I feel like the Power Broker is just this ex
Sold.
machina character that they put together just to like make certain stuff happen without much of an explanation. Power Broker did it. Cool.
I'm a
Moving
fan
on.
of the actress.
Right?
I'll say it.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, she was
I'm
great.
a fan. I'm a fan.
She was great. I mean, Emily Van Camp, what's her name?
Yeah. Nailed
Yeah.
it.
Hey, Gail,
Hey.
go!
First try.
So yeah, I mean, look, if she's in it, awesome, cool. It's not going to sell me. It would be like if they announced the season 3 of Andor. It's like cool, but I don't care.
Who is this for?
It's a fair question. It's a fair question. I know I'm wrong, and I know I'm ruffling feathers, but let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on to something that was really, really annoying. And annoying's not the right word. I hate EA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the game.
Yeah.
They hurt me
They've
deeply.
been.
You know what's not
Terrible.
in the game? Black Panther.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Wakanda forever unless EA can milk it.
Only in our hearts.
Yeah. No, it seems as though that the Black Panther game that sounded wildly exciting has been canceled, and it's been canceled for, rumor has it, the stupidest reason, the greediest reason, and why people hate EA so much is that they couldn't figure out a way to monetize it for a prolonged period of time instead of just telling a really good story and making a game that a lot of people want to buy. They weren't willing to just do that because of the day and age of Fortnite and EPUB and all what are all those Roblox and
Yeah.
PUBG.
PUBG, that's the one.
EPUB is a
That's
magazine extension for reading books.
What's most upsetting about it too is like a lot the developers who were working on it, they're like voicing their opinions on their social medias, and they're like, man, we're really hoping to introduce people to this this game. It was going to be an amazing. They all touted it as this amazing experience. I mean, to have an open world Black Panther game to take place in Wakanda, as with I don't know what the story would have been, but if putting it together with Black Panther and you kind of want something like that to happen, and now that we're not going to get it, I'm like really stoked to and wondering what it would have looked like.
I think the
supposed to
saddest
be-
thing for them is they all lost their job.
That's
I think
Yeah.
it's probably less that the game didn't come out, more that they're all unemployed now. But
It was supposed to be Panther and Cap, right? That was the
that,
idea.
game's,
No,
still,
no,
that
that's-
game's still happening.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
was a
okay.
game that we really never saw a lot of information about. It was a race to see who could become the next Black Panther. So you could play as T'Challa, you could play as Shuri, you could play as M'Baku, you could play as Storm and T'Challa's son, right? As
wasn't Killmonger in it too? Or no?
Killmonger? No, he's not, because he might be
Okay.
one of the villains. I don't think he is. But there was a cool kind of electric character. But I think that was their son.
I know EA had a contract with Marvel. I think it was to make like 4 or 5 games, and they keep trying to just get quick money out of
that's
it.
because they're terrible.
Yeah.
The more
Yeah.
you learn about this, like apparently, what was the I think it was Mass Effect. That this similar to that game that, depending on who you play as and what decisions you make, will alter the game drastically.
Yeah.
So every storyline, depending on who you picked, was supposed to be pretty wildly different. And even if you pick that character, depending on the decisions you make, they have multiple endings for each. And there was also supposed to be this kind of cool ally system where people would be willing to defend your character depending on how you interacted with them. All of which is just no one's going to see the light of day now because, again, EA couldn't milk the property enough.
Yep.
And, it's what killed the Avengers game. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh my goodness, that
Well,
is
I mean, yeah, that game was.
terrible.
No, it was great. It was great. It had a lot
In
of
the
potential.
beginning-
It had a lot of
Was
potential.
it,
but-
yeah. The first,
God, is
the
it boring.
first time you did the missions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You play the storyline and go, that was a really good game. And then they go, now do it 45,000 more times.
Right.
Or pay us money.
Travel the
Right.
same levels, but with your friends.
So, yeah, EA's still trash. I think that's the bottom line of that story. Any other tidbits anyone wants to add? Because it just makes me mad.
it's
No,
it's only
but
going to make you mad.
It's the company that puts out the same football game 30 years in a row.
Hey, but now they're doing it twice a year.
And they right, yeah. The NCAA is back.
Yeah.
Wasn't it gone for a little while?
Well, one of their bosses said they're definitely trying to not invest as much into already licensed IPs, which honestly I don't really agree or believe that fully.
No, they're just they're investing in freemium games to try and make money on the 10% of the population with gambling addictions. It's gross. It's a gross practice, and it's something I just despise the company for. It's wild how hated that company is. Like, wasn't it voted the most hated company in like 2020 or something?
I mean,
Which is
they
wild.
stopped letting people vote. So it was probably every year.
Which is wild considering how many other companies we're talking about, and
Right.
EA made the top of the list. All right, let's move on from this angering topic and just remember that Cap and Black Panther is still happening, and that game looks like it's going to be
And Wolverine at some point.
Wolverine, but
Oh,
that's a
yeah.
different studio. That's the people who make Spider-Man.
Yeah, which take my money.
And Grand Theft Auto 6 will be out in another 6 years.
I heard some crazy rumors about that too. I can't confirm anything, so take all this with a grain of salt. But apparently, Spider-Man 3 is going to be the Carnage DLC that we never got, but the big villain is going to be Green Goblin finally. So getting their take on the
okay.
Green Goblin would be great. That will throw those two characters together. I mean,
Yeah.
that means it's going to end with Red Goblin. I mean, no
Oh.
question. That means if that's true, we're going to get a Red Goblin storyline.
Sign me up
Yeah,
Red Goblin's
so,
cool.
so in,
ASAP.
so in.
You like Goblin?
Goblin D's. You gotta go ahead. Go ahead, finish it up.
Give
Nah, that's good. You know where I'm going with it.
Oh, I do. Right in the old. Never mind. All right. Nothing screams street level like a roided out rage monster. Let's talk about Spider-Man 4. Yeah, we all thought originally Daredevil was going to be the sidekick character. We heard that Ant-Man was supposed to be the sidekick character, that it was all trashed so Venom could be the sidekick character. And yeah, now it's the Hulk.
Hell yeah.
I don't hate it, but it just feels so out of left field compared to what we were supposed to get from what that original, those original plot leaks were. The
Sure,
the whole
some good banter between the two of them.
banner-ter? Oh, wow, that was a stupid joke, but I appreciate you all for laughing. Not you. You didn't laugh, Buzz. I understood it was stupid.
I am curious as to how they'll keep that grounded or street level with the Hulk. Like, how does that story work?
Well, as Moshko was saying, they're going to throw the Punisher in there, and that's the big rumor that Bernthal is going to make an appearance teaming up with Peter, which will probably start with him not teaming up with Peter and give us that classic cover with Spider-Man and the crosshairs.
Ooh,
but
yeah.
everyone points out the same thing, that after Civil War, who was the only person who remembered Peter Parker?
The Hulk.
Boom. That's why he's in it.
That makes sense.
So we'll get one scene where, Hulk runs into Spider-Man and he calls him Peter, and that's going to make Tom Holland's Spider-Man want to become Peter Parker again, because all rumors lead to that this movie is going to be one where he gave up on the Peter Parker persona in general, and he is solely Spider-Man. It is a solely Spider-Man story, and that he doesn't want to be Peter anymore, and that you can have the Hulk bring him back out of that, which could be kind of cool. So you could have this be the end of the Smart Hulk story,
Right.
So you can get us back to kind of a Savage Hulk, because there is still rumor of World War Hulk. I mean, in that Alex Perez conversation, they brought that up multiple times, that movie's in production. They're just not telling anyone about it.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that's true. But then that's how you can have that story make sense, because you can have this be the story where Professor Hulk ends.
I'm okay with that. I want Savage Hulk back.
And then Professor Hulk doesn't remember Peter.
Because that's still
Hulk
Banner.
does. Right. Because that's
Yeah.
still the Banner persona.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like, the information I was seeing that the Hulk in the entire movie will be Savage Land Hulk,
Primal Hulk, yeah.
Primal Hulk. And again, it's Punisher and Spider-Man hunting him down.
It's also because of the change in release date to Doomsday, this is no longer a Battle World movie. So that changes it a little bit as well, because the big rumor is that this was all going to take place in that recreated world that Doctor Doom is rumored to make at the end of Doomsday, leading into Secret Wars, which is, a la Jonathan Hickman's 2015 Secret Avengers. So the rumor is that that's like the same place we saw Ant-Man at the end when he was like, this seems weird, and everyone's just kind of staring at him and smiling in the last couple scenes of Quantumanium.
Yeah.
That scene takes place in Battleworld.
Huh.
That was the rumor. Well, who God only knows how true any of this is now.
Well,
they've changed
so much.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
Interestingly enough about all that is that there's still a slot open in between Doomsday and what's it?
Doctor Strange 3.
Yeah, but we don't. They're not saying whether it will be Doctor Strange 3. It could be World War Hulk.
World War Hulk can't be released in theaters because they do not have the theatrical rights to the Incredible Hulk. So it'll be a special feature presentation or a special presentation for Disney Plus, because that's their way to get around it. And because it's going to be a Hulk movie centered around a bunch of characters fighting the Hulk, that it's not a Hulk movie, because they can't make that because of Universal. So there's still conflicts between contracts with that. More than likely that won't be the case, but who knows? I mean, again, I could be talking out my ass right now. I have no idea. I don't work with these people.
I believe you.
I'm confident that I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's interesting.
It's interesting, yeah. Clip it, but don't listen to me. All right. Well, I like the idea of the Hulk showing up, and I like the idea of having that scene with Banner or not Banner, but Hulk recognizing who Peter is. But I don't know. It just doesn't feel like the movie I was hoping it would be. This is the problem with the doing this show and keeping up with the rumors and stuff, is that you get your heart set on what something's supposed to be versus what something is, and that's that's what turns us into Snyder writers. You know what I mean? It makes us just as bad.
Ain't nobody riding Snyder over here.
No, well, what I'm saying is what makes them bad is because, and bad is in your taste, not you as an individual. But your tastes are questionable. Their expectations for what Superman should be is why they leads them to hate these trailers so much, because that's what they believe Superman is. So it's their belief in what something should be opposed to what they're getting, and just accepting it for what it is the reason they're so upset. And MCU fans do the same thing, especially when we have a lot of time to overanalyze and talk about plot leaks and stuff like that. So it's the reason, like, I have refused to look at anything that's Fantastic Four related right now. There's so much out about Fantastic Four.
Same.
I refuse.
Dude.
Don't expect to hear anything on this show about Fantastic Four until that comes out.
New Rockstars is having a field day.
Don't care. Don't care. Don't
I
want
love
to.
it.
Nope. Superman as well. Don't care. Don't show me a damn thing.
I'm done. Leaks are
Movies are too close.
way too much. I'd rather just see the
too
movie
close.
at this point.
Right.
I want the surprise. Just let me see the movie.
I will be furious if it gets spoiled, and I know Baby Huey knows all of it.
Oh,
When
one
was
of my,
the?
go ahead.
Good.
I was saying one of my coworkers almost spoiled that
thing?
leak for
Well,
me.
that's how you get fired.
Yeah.
That's how you get fired. That's how you get
And I
fired.
was like-
That's how a fight
he's
breaks
like-
out. That's how you lose your job.
He's like, you saw it, right? I was like, no, don't say anything.
Shut your mouth.
He's like,
When was the last
Right.
time that you went to the movies and saw a trailer that surprised you for a movie you had no idea was even being made?
The Predator.
yeah,
That last
Oh,
Predator
yeah.
trailer.
Prey.
I had
Or,
no, the new
Oh,
one.
you talking about the new one?
Badlands.
Oh,
was
yeah.
excellent.
Badlands, with us not realizing that he's going to be the titular character.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, like the fact that he is, we got I don't know, a non-armored predator. What are they even called? Yoshi? They want to say
Yautja.
Yoshi.
Yautja. Yeah.
Something like that. Anyway, we went on a tangent there. Hulk and Spider-Man.
I am excited for Primal Hulk. I'm ready for the smashing to come back.
Yes, a
The
non-nerf
race
Hulk.
smashing.
Well, and
Right,
it's all,
yes.
it can't be but so much. Because there's also rumor of all of these villains who I'm sure will just be cameos, and I'm sure will just be a montage of, since Spider-Man is no longer Peter Parker, he's doing a great job cleaning up the city, because Boomerang is supposed to make an appearance. And we talked about this before.
Yeah. Scorpion was rumored to be in there too.
Right, which don't put
right
him a
there?
part of a montage.
Well, hopefully not.
You can't give us the amazing scene with Scorpion from Spider-Man, the
Friendly
animated-
Neighborhood?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, my
it was
goodness.
beautiful. And then give us a throwaway scene where he relocks him back up or something. I would be
Yeah.
mad. So that's what I'm saying. Hulk is exciting, but at the same time feels it feels like Sony's forcing them, and they should have went with Daredevil.
The whole thing seems forced.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, when you mention the characters together, I just imagine like an annual issue that's going to be like a one-off. I'm not
Yeah.
like thinking like next big blockbuster.
Yeah.
Giant Size X-Men. What? Oh,
Giant
sorry.
size X-Men. Yeah.
Well, there's still rumor that they might introduce the Morales is in there, because we've heard the Morales is now brought up multiple times, and it's now that you brought Daredevil back into the MCU, they brought up Morales there twice in both Daredevil shows.
They're going to do them all eventually.
Well, if you they added it, I think we talked about this. Yeah, we 100% did. When the Disney Plus release of Spider-Man No Way Home hit, they added a line in the very last scene where Peter's looking at his new apartment, where you can hear them talking about the Morales down the hall.
yeah. Yeah.
So it's very possible that this is the franchise that sets up Miles moving forward. But then again, that's just so much going on, where you've got all of these villains in a montage, right? With no main villain besides the Hulk and the Punisher, and Peter trying to tackle. Oh, Black Cat's also supposed to make an appearance. Like, there's just so much that that it's apparently doing that it's just like, I thought you were doing too much with Null. Now I'm like, all right.
Well,
And Noel shows up.
you can argue that,
Right.
that what if something like this happens, right? He's fighting Scorpion. Scorpion gravely injures Spider-Man, which pisses the Hulk off to no end. And that's how we get Savage Hulk back. He just no.
That's not going to make the Hulk mad enough. He's still Banner Hulk until that part goes away. We got to find out where where the Banner mentality stops taking over. That's what we need to see.
Okay.
And I don't think that's going to come from Peter getting hurt. I don't think Banner is going to. Banner has seen more destruction than anybody else. Banner has shot himself in the face. I do not think Peter Parker's fate is going to change things too much for what he's already been through.
I mean, okay, but I mean, I'm saying the Hulk still, well, Hulk or Banner Hulk will still recognize Peter as a child, not a child, but a kid. So there
Sure,
might be like some type
but
of attachment there.
I get it, but it's too hand wavy. Honestly, would you really be thrilled if that's what you found out was the reason? That's where we get Savage Hulk, is that Peter got slapped around a little bit?
Okay, all right.
All right. Let's keep this moving, because again, this is nowhere. It's not going to happen to be an hour. let's just keep this moving. Let's talk about something that we all saw coming, and it's big old spoiler alert. But it turns out that when you kill Joel, it might work for the story, but it does not work for ratings. let's talk about Last of Us season 2.
They knew what they were doing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Seems as though I cannot wait to see what season 3's opening looks like.
You still get a season 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no.
Yeah,
It's gonna
yeah.
get a season 3 because that's how they're doing it. They're switching.
Abby's story.
They're just like where the game allowed us to go through both characters, chapter by chapter. It seems as though this is going to do it season by season, which no one likes Abby right now. So
Yeah.
who's going to tune back in for an Abby story? People barely wanted to tune in for an Ellie story.
I was a big fan of Abby in the games. I'm not a huge fan of the actress or the way that the showrunners are portraying Abby.
Yeah, but you're
I
not a
should say.
fan of Abby until close to the end. When
I
you
mean-
first meet her, you hate her.
Yeah, it depends on how you play the game.
Now you're talking.
There's only
talking
one
my
way to play
language.
the game. And you don't, unlike the show, you have no idea why she killed Joel. So you're just like, wait, what the hell is she? Wait, now you're making me play as her? It's what turned most people off of the game, and why the game gets so. I would arguably unnecessarily hate it, because I did like the game, because I do like Ellie's story, but I don't think Bella Ramsey is doing a good job of portraying Ellie like we had in the game, because she is much more vicious in the game. She
Yeah.
is the whole scene of her when she finds out that Dina's pregnant and she's like, I'm going to be a dad. That scene in the game is, you are going to be a hard time to have around. I need you to leave. She kicks her out, like, get out of here.
Honestly, I thought that would happen in the show. I was surprised.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's not bad by any means, and I'm still going to tune in for season 3. I just can't see season 3 doing well with how bad the drop off for the finale of season 2 is. Because let's just go over these numbers, shall we? Go ahead, Moshko. This is a you thing.
It's a me thing.
Is it analytics and numbers? Yeah, that's a you thing.
Yeah. Well, here's my take on this though, real quick. Remember, I said I fell off after Joel died.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I went back, I said I needed to clean that palette before I jump back in. I did that. I started watching it again. I enjoyed the finale. The episode, even with like the Joel flashback one, I was like, whatever. But the finale I actually enjoyed. So I'm kind of on that line of I'm kind of looking forward to the next part because I do want to see what happens with Abby, or did happen with Abby during that time. I love movies and shows where they do that little twist of going back in time and seeing what happened when it's stuff that we didn't see. I love that.
That drove me crazy because that in the game that happens right after Joel dies. Right after Joel dies is when she wakes up and you see the compound for the first time and you start going through Abby's story.
And you're like, what the hell?
And they ended it that way, and I'm like, oh, the whole season 3 is going to be Abby. Oh man.
I mean, checked out.
Well,
you guys have fun with that.
You and 3.7 million other viewers.
I'm a newcomer to it all, and I don't know. For me, it's almost I have to see it through. I don't like the Abby character because she killed Joel, and I was very invested in the Joel character. But the story itself, I think, is still a great story to tell. But for me, the focus now is just on the character development. That completes the actual whole story arc. So it's like you got to see it through in order for
I
it
had
all
to
to
wait
make
for
sense.
everything worth watching to be over before I went back to this. So it's going to be that filler thing that I watch.
Oh wow!
But
Like
to
Andor.
get to the numbers point here, the season finale drew 3.7 million viewers on HBO and Max. I don't think they've joined forces back yet or changed to HBO Superforce or something. But that was down from the 5.3 from the season premiere. So
Yeah. That's a significant
it
number.
just dropped as soon as Joel dropped. This dropped, and
Joel's the new Glenn. That's what Joel is. Joel's the new Glenn.
Yeah,
The
that's
death
fair.
of Joel kills the show. The
I was
death
gonna
of Glenn
say,
killed the show.
they're pulling the Walking Dead card here now, where it's like when the actor leaves the show, they lose a fan base.
Oh, and just like The Walking Dead, we all saw it coming.
Yeah.
Now, people didn't react the same way as I thought they would. I didn't think people were going to just drop the show after the death of Glenn, but I kind of expected it with Joel. Like,
I
no
fell
one
off
can
that-
say they're that shocked by this news.
Right.
No.
I fell off the Walking Dead before, but I did tune in to see that because it was such a moment from the comics.
The game, you mean?
I
Or-
watched Dead City.
Oh, no,
are
you
ya?
Walking
No, he's
Dead.
talking
My
about
bad,
Walking
my
Dead,
bad,
yeah.
My bad.
Side tangent. Anybody see season 2? Or let me ask this: anyone see season 1 of Dead City?
I watched the first 2 episodes. That was it.
Oh,
Nah.
I mean, somebody must be watching it because they have a season 2. But
Yeah, well, you know why they have a season 2? Because AMC has no other hits.
that's a good point.
They've
Yeah.
got nothing other than The Walking Dead. They had they had Mad Men for a little bit. They couldn't drag that any longer. They had
Yeah.
Breaking Bad, which is one of the best shows ever made, and then all they had was The Walking Dead. They
Better
tried
Call
with a
Saul.
bunch of other things. Well, yeah, Better Call Saul counts, but it also didn't have the viewership that Breaking Bad did. So while it's critically acclaimed, it did not have a huge viewership. So Walking Dead, on the other hand, they had every show had 2 other shows, and they would hawk merchandise on them. Like, hey, you want this backpack? Hey, come get these Daryl ear necklace. You know what I mean? Like, they sold the weirdest stuff on that Chris, what was his name?
Hardwick.
Chris Hardwick show. They would, right before going to commercial break, they'd go to our website and buy this backpack. It's
Talking
like,
Dead.
right, you got
what
the
has
Walking
happened?
Dead.
I'm looking at somebody like Preacher was on there. That was fun.
That was fun. You're right.
Halt and
Preacher
Catch
was fun.
Fire. I don't know if you guys watched that at all. I really enjoyed it. That was kind of the Silicon Valley come up.
I like the
different take on it.
Badlands. I thought that was fun.
Badlands
Yeah.
was. I saw a few episodes of that. I don't know why they stopped it though.
But end of the day, AMC's not the greatest when it comes to a repertoire of shows available at the same time.
Yeah.
They usually got one big hit, and they got to ride that until the wheels fall off until they can pray for something else. That's
they
why
do have Interview with the Vampire going on, but I don't know anybody that's watching.
That's kind of why I will put money why their streaming service AMC Plus is mostly a conduit for Shudder than it is for anything that AMC does. Because more people are excited about Shudder originals than they are about AMC ones recently.
wow.
And Walking Dead is a prime example of it because they kind of, they shot themselves in the foot. I mean, how did you bring Rick back and make it a bad show?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, whatever. We don't have to go through this. Don't make me relive The Walking Dead. Don't do this to me.
The wheels are off.
I already got to relive Dexter. Don't do this to me.
Are we talking about that or no?
We are. It's on. I brought it up. Let's go ahead and switch gears for just a second. Let's talk about Dexter, because it doesn't have to be very long. But the Dexter trailer dropped.
The long and short of it is, you're not liking what you're seeing from this. Tell me why.
I'm not liking it. I'm nervous. I'm nervous about the concept of it. I like a lot of it, but again, it's my expectations versus what I'm getting. My expectations were, because that's what the original rumors were, is that it was going back to Miami, and that it was going to take place in Miami, and we were going to get a return to form with Dexter. Learning that he goes to New York to hunt down Harrison changes it a lot. Now, I like that Angel Baptista is going to play somewhat of an antagonist that's hunting down Dexter, finding out that he's the Bay Harbor Butcher. I kind of love that, and I love the sly little it's who God only knows how right I am about this, but when we saw Peter Dinklage's character, the billionaire, and telling us that there were more serial killers, and then meeting all those other characters, is it possible that Dexter is going up against a bunch of other serial killers, a la like Lucky Number 11?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe there's I got a
corpse.
I didn't read Exquisite Corpse.
I still haven't finished.
I really want to read that.
I know,
but I didn't read it yet. It was over my hiatus. I didn't read a lot of books, so that one's on my list. But I like the idea, but I'm still upset about not being back in Miami and revisiting things that I thought were where they closed the door on them unceremoniously. Like, I still hate Deb. Let me reword that. I love Deb. I hate what happens to Deb. So, spoiler alert. I know, spoiler alert for your features. You're going to have to deal with it. If you plan on watching the show, you're going to have to deal with it. We sat through and watched 4 seasons together, and you stopped watching it. So, you got no one else to blame but yourself. You just stopped.
Right, but you know why I stopped at first.
6 years now? 8 years now?
Right. But it's been a while, buddy, and now the trailer's out, and you still didn't pick it back up.
You're right.
So,
you're right.
It's probably going to be great. I love Dexter. I like Michael C. Hall. I have no issues with doing this. I just really wish it was back in Miami, but I get that they can't. So we'll see. I wasn't as happy when I watched the trailer because of my own expectations.
Yeah,
it felt different when I was looking at it. Like I like.
You don't even know.
I don't, not as much as you do.
Fair
but what
weather
I'm saying
Dexter
is,
fan.
What I'm saying is like,
I will gatekeep the crap out of this.
But season by season, he's introduced into a different type of killer or person that feeds his dark passenger. But it seems like this is kind of, I don't know, just it feels like there's like a lot of personalities being brought in. I don't know how they're going to manage that, or what the direction even really is for that.
Well, the direction is he's hunting down his son because he feels bad that even though New Blood ends with "I had to die for my son to live," apparently not. Apparently, he feels bad about he comes to, realizes his son's not around, and finds out his son went to New York, and he wants to rekindle that relationship with his son. So he hunts down Harrison, and while hunting down Harrison, Baptista finds out that he's not dead, and that then prompts him to start hunting him down because. He finds out that again. I'm trying to not say too much because stupid ass features didn't finish the show yet.
Was it season 4? That was the Trinity.
That was Trinity. That's what it should have ended.
A great season.
It should have ended.
So you
one of the
finished 4
best seasons of television ever.
Yes, and I will also say 5 is not that bad. 5 is not that bad.
You jumped the shark, and. Everything past that season with all these the spin-off shows, beating the dead horse. It's
dead alligator.
Yeah, it's all. I don't know. You can't. Yeah, I'm not hyped.
Yes and no. New Blood. What was it called? Not New Blood. New Blood. New Blood was okay. Origins. Dexter Origins was great. I thought Dexter Origins was really well done. I enjoyed that a lot.
Pretty sure we're getting season 2 of that.
No question, we're getting season 2.
The supporting cast really brought that show together.
Surprise, mother.
Well, Dexter was the worst.
Yeah,
the kid who played, and he did a great job. But the kid who played Dexter was the worst in the group, and that says a lot. They did a great job with that cast. And apparently, it's going to play a big role in how Michael C. Hall develops this new version of Dexter because he has this other show to work off to inform his decision. So it's interesting seeing him produce this, getting the scripts ahead of time, and then using those to up his performance in Resurrection. Kind of love that. So there's a lot to like about it, but again, my expectations for it are high, and changing the location already put me in a sour place. And that's unreasonable, I'm sure, but it's not what I was hoping. And that, call me a Snyder writer, but that's the issue.
We're getting a heavy dose of Kristen Ritter this next year.
Yes, very excited about that. Very excited about that. All right, let's switch gears over here and talk about something that I'm sure Buzz is only on the show today to talk about. Let's talk about the Frankenstein trailer, because woo, buddy, that I haven't been excited for Frankenstein in ever.
I was surprised to see I was surprised to see it was coming out from Netflix. I didn't know that part. But I'm
made me so excited when I heard the dun-dun. I was like, oh, I don't have to go anywhere? This is so much better.
Right. I love Del Toro and horror.
Theatrical release. Sorry, go ahead.
What'd you say? There is one?
Well, they're pushing for it now since there's such a good reaction to that trailer.
It's supposed to air somewhere, like a screen somewhere in New York, but like same week or whatever as the drop. But
well, that's Netflix's thing. They only release on a movie for a short period in theaters for a short period of time, just to be considered by the Academy, and then they immediately go to streaming as fast as they humanly can. So they will release it for like a week, and that's it.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, this is a movie that I think a lot of people would go to the theater and see. I don't know why they chose Netflix
doesn't, because Netflix wants to change our viewing habits. I mean, Netflix,
no, I understand. Yeah, no, I get that. It's fucking Frankenstein. Like,
right.
You're not going to make another, like Dracula, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, Frankenstein always deserves a big screen, because it's Hollywood made their name on Frankenstein and all the 30s monsters. Like, you need to put it on the screen. But I'm excited for it. I love Del Toro. He's one of my favorite directors of all time. And I know that, he's doing like his own thing with it, but I think it's going to be great. So I'm happy to join in that storyline.
But some of the stuff that he was talking about... go ahead, Lance.
Oscar Isaac looks like he was born to play that role.
Yeah.
He
looks great.
Well, the shot in general, and you're going to actually have to help me out with this, Buzz. The art style is based on the guy who worked on Swamp Thing. It was a comic book artist.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I love that plays a role in how he wants to shape the movie is based on the artwork that say his name again.
Bernie Wrightson.
I'm just gonna point to the camera, and then that's where you go. but going through and looking a lot of what his Frankenstein stuff, what a lot of his pencils look like, and then looking at some of the shot choices they made, like
amazing.
the Frankenstein shot in the snow, where it's just the silhouette of him, looked like one of the pieces of art from. Go ahead, Buzz.
Bernie Wrightson.
From his website.
Bernie is a legend, especially because like they used to say that in the 70s, people would show their portfolios to like Marvel staff, and then Bernie would come in with his, and everybody would just put their work away. Like,
wow.
No one would leave it out. Because he was just a madman for, drawing things in 3 dimensions and in the space and making it believable and giving monsters like emotion and things like that. And Frankenstein is that. So, he, at some point in his career, like in the early 80s, went and did a Frankenstein book all by himself. It's public domain. So he did his own thing on it. And it was like a sellout book, and it did really well. And a lot of collectors, covet the lithographs from that series. So for Del Toro to use him as like almost, a post-mortem concept illustrator for it, I mean, the Wrightson fans are going to come out of the woodwork for it, because they've been waiting to see it in live action for a long time.
Well, and how he talks about it, like I put a quote down because it just blew me away. So Del Toro said, "Frankenstein to me is the pinnacle of everything, and part of me wants to do a version of it. Part of me has, for more than 25 years, chickened out of making it. A dream I can make. I dream I can make the greatest Frankenstein ever. But then, if you make it, you made it." Whether it's great or not, it's done, and you cannot dream about it anymore. That's the tragedy of being a filmmaker.
Yeah.
So the fact that he has been dreaming about doing this movie for like 20 some odd years means that he's got the passion to make it great.
Yeah. I mean, he made Hellboy 1 and 2, so and Blade 2. So he's warmed up. You know what I mean? He's just. as an artist, I can relate because you kind of have an idea and then you put it down on paper and it looks cool, but it wasn't exactly what you thought. And he's
And you
probably
got to move, right?
You got to keep moving, and I'm sure he's had that experience on the film. I saw something recently where Oscar was like speaking on stage with Del Toro and Mia Goth, and you could just tell like the relationship between the three of them already is really bonded, kind of like the way they're showing the Fantastic Four now. Like they must have went all in on Frankenstein for this one, you know, and it's big shoes to fill. So
Well, and it's
these are
interesting.
big. These are big people to fill those shoes. So I think it's going to be a success.
Well, he was also talking about how he doesn't want to make it a direct adaptation of Mary Shelley's novel. He also said that the best parts of the book haven't actually been filmed yet. So he is making his version of it, which I love, but he is being inspired by every single Frankenstein that came before. So to me, this feels like James Gunn's Superman for Frankenstein.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what it feels
absolutely.
like.
You want to make it the best melting pot version because you've got almost 100 years of, with the book you've got more than 100 years of fandom on it. But you know, you might as well take a little bit from the best of everything and make the best ultimate thing. You know, like being true to form, true to the book. I mean, it's not really necessary at this point. Making something interesting that captivates a bigger audience and everyone involved would probably be more successful.
100%. And something tells me that this is the start of a revisit of the monster universe again.
Well, yeah, Universal just launched the theme park. I think it just opened May 22nd or something like that. It's like their Dark Universe theme park, and it's like The Mummy, Bride of Frankenstein, Frankenstein, the Wolfman. They're bringing them all back. Nice. I worked there in the 90s, and the Universal monsters were the main draw, the way Mickey Mouse is for Disney, you know. And then they got rid of it and brought in all this different stuff with Jurassic Park and Transformers, and now the monsters are back. And so they're back in the theme park. They're back on the screen. They've never really left, but they are. You can always do them in a good way, and you'll always get a lot of enthusiasm around them because they're the original Hollywood superstars or the monsters.
And connected universe. I mean,
Yeah, and
Frankenstein versus
crossover
Wolfman.
universe.
You know what I mean?
Crossover
Like,
universe. Yeah.
Question for you, Buzz, because I'm not sure, but like, was Frankenstein before like Nosferatu or?
No, Nosferatu was basically plagiarizing the book Dracula with their film, and then they sort of made their own thing with it. And it was before. It was about 12 years before or so, 1922 to like 32, so 10 years.
Oh, okay. So
But
Frankenstein really is
Edison
that
made a Frankenstein film, which I don't believe is the first film, but it got credit for being the first film ever, like in 1912, I think. And it's like a really wacky looking, like crazy haired stage thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. My point is that the monsters, they're the first ones to be in movies. The storytelling comes from folklore, which comes from, you know, ancient culture telling stories about things. And so, you know, naturally those folklores made it onto screen when film became new technology because that's what they were hearing at the time from their great grandmother or whatever.
Nice.
All right, well, before we get into comics, I've got two last things that I want to at least just mention. First off, Stranger Things 5, they came out with their release date for the final season.
Dates.
For finally giving
Plural.
Plural, yes, excuse me. Well, go ahead, Lance.
Yeah.
What are the dates? What are
That's,
we expecting for Stranger Things here?
November 26th is part 1. I believe Christmas is part 2, and then New Year's is part 3.
And it's going to
that's
be
it.
3 episodes each time.
Yeah, about 2 hours long. I think 2 hours and 30 minutes, something like that,
What, for each episode?
for each episode.
Holy crap. Wow.
So
Wow, that's
9
wild.
movies.
Yeah, right. That's rough.
Well, it's because it's just 3 episodes total, so it's 6
Oh, it's
hours.
1 in November.
No, it's so Stranger Things 5 will debut 3 volumes this fall, 4 episodes on November 26th,
Okay.
3
Oh, okay.
episodes on Christmas, and the final episode on New Year's Eve.
I do know that they are longer. I must have misunderstood about the 2-hour length, though.
And 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. But yeah, it seems like it's going to be good. And I love the idea of the entire cast coming back and focused on a singular story and no more side quests. So, I'm in. It's 1987. Apparently, it takes place like a year and a half after the last season, which we thought was supposed to be a much longer break because of how old they are. So the rumor was it was going to take place in the 90s. But if it's 1987, obviously not. So
Yeah.
I'm interested. That's cool.
Yeah,
and
I'm
the
ready
last
for them
little
to wrap it up.
The last little thing, it's not little. I think it's actually one of the coolest things that happened in the last couple of weeks. But the 8 minutes of Wednesday that they released for season 2 was really, really cool. We don't have to spend a lot of time on this, but that brought me back into that show so quickly, and it just reminded me how much I love Jenna Ortega. She is just great in everything that she does, apparently, except for the Weekends movie. I heard that's terrible. I hear that's not great. But she probably is wonderful, and I think she nails that role every time.
I was going to say, she's nailed
Wednesday.
that role so well that I don't even think about where's the rest of the family.
Yeah, that's such a good
I
point.
don't even
That's a
think
great
about it.
point.
And I love Cousin It, but it's just like I don't really need to know where anybody else is because she's just crushing it.
Yeah.
And all of the things that they've added to the lore, I think, work so well. And the way they've evolved the story and where I'm hoping to see it go in season 2, just those 8 minutes breathes a breath of fresh air that nothing is going to change drastically enough tonally. That it's still playing the same game that season 1 did, which I thought nailed it out of the park. I know a lot of people didn't like some of the CGI and stuff, but I thought it was beautifully done. I thought in general, I mean, and what else do you expect from what's his name?
The Addams Family?
Burton.
No, Tim Burton. This Buzz just
He's on it.
he's my name man. Before I'm even done the sentence, he's like, "Oh, I know."
You guys lost me at Stranger Things.
Wow.
I know. There's children in it. I know.
No, you know what? I'll watch it because they're all grown-ass adults now.
That's exactly why he stopped watching Last of Us.
It's like,
wait, it's about a child? No.
That's enough for absolute Batman over there.
Yeah.
You know what? I haven't read like the last 2 issues.
You didn't read the
you
issue
should
where he
read 'em.
booted the child off the boat?
Oh, that I saw.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, that's it. That's
Good.
That was great.
That's
It's
it.
so funny.
It can't
It's
get
one
any
of the
better than
funniest.
this.
That's one of the funniest panels. That's up right up there with like Frank Castle punching a polar bear. Like that is one of the greatest panels I've seen in a comic book. All right, let's switch gears here and run through some comic books because this was a good week.
How many gears was that? So is that like 8 speed? We switched a lot of gears.
Oh,
Sorry.
All right, I got it. I see. Way over my head. Well, let's start with a Moshko favorite since he was tuned out for the last 3 stories. Let's talk about GI Joe number 7.
G.I.
Who the
Joe.
hell was I reading?
Beachhead.
Who the hell's Beachhead?
Freaking
You don't know
Beachhead.
Beachhead?
I don't know GI Joe.
I like how everybody's like, you don't know Beachhead? Listen, I don't even know who Beachhead is, and I used to
Beachhead
watch
up there.
G.I. Joe.
He's in the ski mask with the magazines here.
Dude, I was
know,
so
it's-
excited for the
it's-
ninjas to come back. I was like, "Ooh, Scarlet's coming back!" And then no, it was a dude named
Oh
Beachhead.
man, there's
Beachhead
a
is
great joke in there.
Look,
I'm
Look,
past it already.
he was
We
a cool
passed it.
character. He was a really cool character, but he has the dumbest name. It's like Laserface. Beachhead. Beachhead.
I mean, how
Beachhead.
can you not love Beachhead?
Should we change his name to Vacation Boy?
It's a military term. For
Oh,
like
is it?
where-
Oh, I
where
see. There you
set
go.
up like
There
a-
you go.
a battalion at the beachhead.
I did not know that. All right, that makes
Well, it's
so
also the
much. That makes
introduction of
so
the night-
much better than I
The
was
Night
like,
Force.
why? Because he's at the beach.
Who? The what force, Moshko?
Night Force. So it's like
Night
their
Force.
covert. Like, I mean, GI Joe's pretty covert to begin with, but this is like, the seals of the GI Joe.
Yeah, beachhead's a seal.
Wait,
You guys
Duke's
let me
not.
know.
Well, Duke's Duke, but like Night Force has a whole bunch of other characters. Like you got Tunnel Rat and Sneak
I'm
Peek
sorry.
and Psych
What?
Out,
Did you say sneak peek?
Shockwave,
Tunnel Rat. Tunnel Rat and Beachhead.
Spearhead,
Woo, buddy, that sounds
Muskrat.
like
You gotta let me know when Snake Eyes comes out.
that
but then
sounds
there-
like remember the Head and like Eon
Oh, yeah.
Flux.
Yeah.
Beachhead and Tunnel Rat seems like a show that they would have put out
One of those
around
old
that time on
MTV shorts.
MTV.
Well, no, it's. I mean, really, what it was just another way to take the same toy but paint them differently and then sell them again. That's really what it was. But
It was
since-
good.
yeah,
but
I mean, we
was-
haven't seen a lot of these characters yet, so they're trying to introduce them in like these one shots. I mean, that's more or less what this issue is. It says in the back, like, we're going to do a few of these every once in a while before we get back into the meat of the story.
Okay, so
so
this
that's-
wasn't an actual issue.
So one off.
It's an actual issue that will come into play at some point, but it's not part of the overall story that's going on right now. I think it's more or less just a transition.
Because it was a fun story, but yeah, it didn't feel like. Oh, and what's the thing at the end? Is that the
What's the thing at the
robot,
end?
the bat thing?
Yeah, Yeah, so they now have one in their possession, so they can, back engineer or something, figure out what makes it tick.
Well, it's still one of the best books coming out, even if I don't know what the hell's going on.
That's a good point.
I still love it. I'm still excited. After I read it, I was like, oh, I can't wait to talk to Moshko.
Yeah, Night Force, it's a toy thing.
Okay, good. Because I was a little like, this isn't great, but in general, it's still one of the best books coming out. Speaking of which, let's switch gears over to good old Ultimate Spider-Man 17.
Man. Listen.
So, all right. Okay.
Go ahead.
So I've crapped on this book for a long time, and I'm not going to stop. How many books are we going to get in this series that don't have Spider-Man in it?
Listen, you may crap on that, but to be fair, the books that don't have Spider-Man in it are the ones that intrigue me the most because the story moves on and it makes you want more. You're finding out more tidbits as it goes on.
This is a guy who will watch a TV show where a character will scream for 20 minutes straight for 3 or 4 episodes in a row. I get why he has a problem with this, for them developing a full story. Like, I get why he would have an issue with that.
I don't know. It's fine.
It's great.
I don't know.
It's great.
Awesome, bro.
It is
It's
great.
fine.
It is great. You don't like the twist of Mysterio and Green Goblin coming back, and that's fair.
Mysterios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the new cereal.
There's a new cereal crunch.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a really good book. I thought it was interesting. I like the way that they brought in Mr. Negative, and I do think that him exposing himself, well, I shouldn't say it that way.
See?
Him letting Peter know that he's still alive opens up some interesting things, especially when you look at the cover for the next book. I mean, this is a setup book. It is still getting the story where it needs to be, and that's a true criticism, and I understand that. But when you look at the cover of the next issue, you can tell that we are leading into a very unique version of Venom. As we see Peter and his son swinging, and his son is in definitely a Venom suit right now. Like that AI suit he has is no question the Venom suit, and the idea of Peter having to take on Venom as his son is very exciting.
I was going to say too, like after reading so much of it, it's like, this is no knock on the series, but it seems to only work in the form of its twists. Because the characters have been around for so long that what's holding it together is like what's going to be different next.
But isn't that true with all the Ultimate and Absolute books? Like, isn't that?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm a fan. I like the Mysterios. You know what I mean? But I just feel like
Part of a balanced breakfast.
Post Mysterios.
I do, yeah. But I do feel like
Ray's
it's
pretty
just
good.
selling me on the twists. You know what I mean? On the variants of what they can do is what's keeping me reading it.
Well, and they're doing a great job and I usually hate when people do this just to do it, but this is doing a good job of it, of subverting expectations. Because no other book have I been so insanely wrong so often. Usually I have a pretty good idea of where something's going or what the twist that they're working on is, or every single issue I've been wrong. Almost everyone.
Yeah.
They will go in a completely different direction than I thought, which makes me excited because I still believe Mary Jane's going to die, but obviously I could be very wrong there. And that's exciting, having no clue where this story is leading.
You know what? I do think you might have been right about Gwen Stacy, like, at least becoming, like, evil.
Gwen killing Mary Jane.
That potentially could still happen because the way she's moving right now, you're going like, I think she's going to turn at some point.
And that's how you get Venom. That's how you get Venom, because you have him watch it happen, and Peter was unable to save his mother. Ooh. And now he's got this broken version of his father in his ear. Yeah, dude, there's some cool things to be said there, Lance. I don't know what you're talking about.
Really? No, come on, man.
Oh, I'll help you. I'm sorry, is that not a good Goku? Let me try it again.
I mean, you said it earlier that you've been wrong about everything. Like it being good.
Wow.
Like it being good. That's wild. What a wild take. What a wild take.
Sorry.
Oh, man.
All right.
All right. Well, let's talk about one that even if you crap on, I don't care. Predator versus Spider-Man.
I'm hyped about this one though.
Still good.
Why is this good and the other one wasn't?
Because the idea of Kraven versus the Predator is awesome. and I want to
Yeah,
see what they do.
I was gonna say that it feels more like Craven versus the Predator than it does.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I like that, but at the same time, it could work out. And it might not just be Craven versus the Predator, because it will probably end up being Spider-Man and Craven versus the Predator. You need Craven
Craven's
as the
gonna-
hunter.
He's gonna die first
Who,
off.
Craven?
100%.
You think so? I
That would
think
be cool.
no.
This is an Elseworld story, bro. There's no way he survives. There's no way he survives. It's
He
how they're
has-
gonna up the stakes.
He has peak level hunting skills, and Spider-Man needs that.
Right, and so will the Predator. The Predator is going to rock this dude, especially this Predator. This Predator is not a normal Predator. This is the most psychotic of the Predators I've seen so far.
Isn't
Yes.
it
Yes.
Predators?
Predators.
Predators. Okay, and the twist at the end is the other Yautja showing up, because that Predator, Skinner Predator, is he's an outcast. He's an outlier to their society. So none of the Predators like him.
He's psychotic, dude.
Yes.
The,
Yeah,
the
he's
thro-
collecting
the
like
thro-
toes and stuff.
the
I missed
throne
that.
of skulls.
I was like,
and
cool, now there's more.
And that's the thing. So with more Predators showing up to get rid of this one Predator, and the idea of them is just to hunt in general. They're going to be hunting this Predator as well as possibly Spider-Man and Craven.
Spider-Man's going to recreate he's going to create his own Sinister Six to go up against them. Yep. Watch it. Watch it happen. You got 3 Predators now. He's going to get 6 supervillains to go with him, and it's going to be him, Craven, and a few others to take out. Watch it happen. I'm telling you.
So when Spider-Man wins at the end of this, what weapon does Predator give him?
Ooh.
So,
And Danny Glover can't be an answer.
No,
Wrist
he's
rocket.
too old for this.
He gives him the cloaking device so he can keep up with Miles.
There you go.
Hey. That could be fitting for Spider-Man, though.
No, that was a joke.
so here's my take on this entire book, and this is how I'm going to look at all future books. Absolutely, make sure you read the last bit of dialogue in the story.
You should read every bit of dialogue in the whole entire book.
These are not just picture books, okay?
It's like, here's also good advice. When you're reading a regular book, don't skip pages.
Oh, you don't do that?
Dang it.
I
Now you
completely
tell me.
went from a hunting party follower to next honor killing and completely didn't read the most important part of the book.
I mean, it's still very good. I'm still very excited for it. It's way better than Black Panther.
Yeah.
Way better than Black Panther.
Isn't
Wolverine,
there a
I
Hulk
think
one too?
Wolverine's
Or no,
still
Wolverine.
better. Wolverine's still the best. It's
Right now, yeah. I think Ultimate Wolverine is taking the top spot.
no,
It's just-
I'm not talking about Ultimate Wolverine. I'm talking about Predator versus Wolverine.
Oh, okay.
Predator versus Black Panther was trash. Predator versus Wolverine was really good.
A more fitting matchup.
Well, it's also
Yeah.
because they didn't overwrite the story by making me follow the loser Predator who couldn't get his father's approval to fight Black Panther. It's like, why do I care about any of this? What are we doing? That's why Wolverine was great. We saw him fight predators throughout history and how it affected his story, and it's so good.
Yeah.
And this is doing a really good job too, because it's giving us a unique take on it, and it's taking us through Spider-Man's New York, and not. Could you imagine if the whole thing took place in the lair of the Predator, and he was just
Oh.
reminiscing about how everybody hates him?
Hey,
You'd be
actually,
like, what am
this
I
is
reading? This what is this? You don't.
Got
I
like
don't.
glasses on.
Well, the Predator is scary because you don't know what he's thinking, and you don't know what he's about to do, and he's unpredictable, and he's smart, and he's cunning. Once you get the internal monologue of like, my dad and brother don't like me, it's like, well, I don't like you either. Why am I focusing on you? Can we move past this?
I mean,
humanity to a alien killer.
It was, and the way they tried to do it is also like you put up the worst Predator against Black Panther. Like you put up a
the weak
reject.
one.
Right. the smart one who couldn't beat his brother. It's like, all right, well, so he's going to beat Black Panther? Cool. All right, well, let's move over to Ultimate Wonder Woman. Did anyone read that?
Absolute? Yes.
Absolute, excuse me. Yeah, Absolute
Yes.
Wonder Woman. Absolute Wonder Woman is great. Well, they went back to the old art style. I hate it, but
Yeah.
but the story is still good. And I will say, as much as I don't like the flat art, I think the way they play with panels is brilliant.
When she made the fortress, that was a unique way of doing it panel wise, like you're saying.
These shots here, where these
Yeah.
splash pages, where they're doing it within
Oh,
the
yeah.
rings, and then the very next page is
Yeah.
laid out the exact same way, except for it's not panels.
Yeah.
So the panel design it carries over to the next page for a splash page. really cool the way they're laying the book out. It reminds me a lot of the old Batwoman, when Batwoman first came around, and they would do panels that were like shaped like stars or like real jagged edges and stuff. So I love when people play around with panels.
Me too.
It's the cool, like sometimes it's cool when you do the tiny panels like David Aja's Hawkeye, where they try and fit a lot on one page. But I love when they get real abstract with the panel sizes. So the book does a beautiful job of that, and the new story arc, so it's good. I liked the last one more, and I'm kind of upset it finished so quickly, and it also had much better art. But it is what it is. Still good, still worth the pickup.
Yeah.
Speaking of abstract panels, has anyone been reading the Absolute Martian Manhunter?
So
Yes.
Yeah.
good, so
Yeah.
good. I did fall asleep reading the third one, but it's still really good.
I think it's unfolding pretty nice.
It's
Like
really
just-
cool on the eyes.
Trippy as hell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and their use of color is really cool. Yeah, it's a beautifully done book, and it shouldn't be as good as it is. It shouldn't work.
I've
The
been meaning
only
to check
thing
that
that
one out.
really throws me off about it is trying to understand the Martian communicating with John. And
Well, that's the point.
Yeah.
But I
He doesn't understand it either.
right. But there's the pieces that they are like that are kind of simple to get is becoming like way more interesting because we're getting into the story of the white Martians and then that war. So again, and the whole purpose of what's happening right now. So I think that unique version of that storytelling is standing out to me a lot for Absolute Martian Manhunter, and definitely worth picking up more issues of that.
Oh, for sure.
How about this one?
Old Man Daredevil.
Old Man
Yeah.
Daredevil. Old Man Daredevil issue 2, Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell. Still beautiful. Still a great book.
Still beautiful.
Yeah, even though Starlight shows up. Wasn't expecting for it to be focused on Starlight from The Boys.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, my eyes.
Yeah, right. It's like, wow, she just is Starlight.
Wow.
He's
You know what?
like, don't worry, that goes away. Most of the time.
To be fair, now that you say that storyline is starting to play a little bit out like The Boys, as far as like what Bullseye's intentions are. It feels like he's trying to make more super soldiers, which could be cool, but I don't know exactly where that takes the story.
I want to know more about Elektra.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was,
you
that
mean
was
MS
interesting.
Paint Elektra?
Yeah. It does
that-
have
I
Dark Knight
stared at
Strikes
that
Back
splash.
vibes.
Yeah, I was
Well,
just
there's
like,
only one more issue, so
One?
The art style
It's
in
only a
general, it's
three-parter.
really it's very good, but there are some times where you're just like, I really wish you would have won over this page once more.
I do really love the like Hellraiser Bullseye type thing he's got going on with the needles in the head.
Yeah.
And he's just like throwing at people.
It's funny because the way they show how these characters are aged. When Bullseye kind of flicks one of the needles at his henchman, and the guy goes, "Why'd you do that?" He's like, "I was aiming for your eye."
Yeah, missed.
So did he miss or was he showing mercy?
No, he
I
missed.
think he missed.
He straight up missed.
Yeah.
Look at him. Look at that
He's
man.
probably got cataracts. I'm surprised he's still throwing stuff to his aim.
happy that he hit him in all. All right. I don't know. Batman Hush 2 feels unnecessary. Anyone else feel
I
that way?
was going
I'm
to
out.
say that.
Yeah.
It feels
It doesn't-
unnecessary.
Gorgeous book.
It's really well done, but it just
But
feels
is it
like
necessary?
No, it feels like it has no staying power.
It doesn't have a main focus. It has 100 little focuses, but it doesn't feel like the entire book is moving in any one direction.
No, and then Bane showing up with Damien at the end, and he's like, "Why are you with Bane?" And he's like, "To save you." And it's like, this feels
Okay.
just like real heavy. Like, did I miss a book here or something? Like,
How many times has Batman got to be saved in a Batman book? That doesn't equate. That doesn't compute to me.
Well, I mean, Batman gets saved a lot in the
does not
Batman books.
compute.
That's why he has a whole family.
Was anybody really asking for a Hush too?
No,
No.
it's no question.
I
It's
didn't
a
hear
cash
that
grab.
cry for help. It sounded more like something to showcase Jim Lee again. And I love Jim. You know, he's
Yeah.
amazing. But like, you did make Batman, dude.
And you know, Hush is kind of cool in it, I guess. And he makes some interesting points. Like, I love Hush convincing the Red Hood that, you know, I'm amazed that Batman never called me to help you in this, because you've got serious. That's part of the reason why Red Hood is helping, is that his brain is deteriorating because he has brain damage from being beaten to death. And he's like, well, I'm a brain surgeon. I'm surprised he never called me to help you, even though when he had problems, he called me immediately.
Wow.
Ooh.
So it's the way...
Batman doesn't really love you.
Secrets.
Which is kind of true. It's kind of true. He is definitely the redheaded stepchild of the of the Bat family. Like, there's no question. Even Spoiler gets more respect.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry, I got a little too nerdy on that one. Carrie Kelly, no, okay,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
No. We respect Carrie
No.
Kelly more. Okay,
Maybe.
all right. Look, I love Stephanie Brown. Don't get me wrong. Spoiler's awesome. I'm a Stephanie Brown fan. Carrie Kelly not so much, but I like Stephanie Brown a lot.
Oh, I thought you said Murphy Brown. It's a good show.
All right, well, those are my books. I'm through my pile. I tried to read Giant Size X-Men, but I didn't get through it before recording.
Yeah,
It's too big.
you're not really missing anything.
Yeah.
Giant Size X-Men is pretty much Miss Marvel going through a bunch of old X-Men story arcs because Legion finds a way to go back in time to try to reverse everything and send it back to the Age of Apocalypse for some strange reason.
And
That's
Miss Marvel's
the
in
brunt of
X-Men
it.
now.
Well, Miss Marvel was, which we found this out during the making of the Miss Marvel show, is that she was always intended to be a mutant, but it was during the Fox Marvel fight
Yeah.
where they wanted to kill the X-Men off and make the Inhumans huge, so they decided to make her an Inhuman last minute because they didn't want to give a character that Fox now could make a movie about. So she got changed, and then they thought it was a great idea in the show to make her a mutant. And now, because of that, they're trying to force that through the books. So she is Inhuman, but she also has an X gene. And then we found that out when she was resurrected in Krakoa, when they randomly killed her in a Spider-Man book because they just wanted her dead to turn her into a mutant as fast as they
and they
usually
put
could.
her in an egg, and then the egg opened, and she was good.
Yep, essentially.
That's how it works.
So you're-
I'm learning.
So you're telling me they're designing and releasing characters and then coming up with the story for them after the fact?
Well, they changed her story 100%. No
Yeah.
question. They because the original, I forget who the creator was, but he always envisioned her to be a part of the X-Men. So this is a course correct. So like it's a similar story to how they said Nightcrawler's changed origin was supposed to be always the story. It was never supposed to be Azazel.
Yeah.
And how true that is, I don't know. But that they say that was what they always intended. They just never got a chance to do that book, and they felt like now they can. Same is now happening with Kamala Khan and the mutants, and that's why I really liked her first mutant book. When she first joined the X-Men during the Krakoa downfall, and she was running away from Orcus, right?
Yeah.
That's what their name was.
Yeah,
was a
that
cool
was pretty
book.
good.
I
There's
enjoyed that.
5 credits for the creator on her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wasn't
Jeez.
one of the other creators is she herself was a
Oh, God.
God, what were you saying? One of the other
As-
creators was what?
Who?
yeah, one of the other creators. I think, and it's maybe she was just a writer on the first arc of Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
Was probably
that's
she
what
was
it was.
herself was Muslim, or Muslim.
I mean,
descent.
there's the first name is Sanaa
That's her.
Amanat, or however, I'm not sure how to pronounce it
Sure.
properly, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
Stephen
that's her.
Wacker, Willow Wilson, Adrian Alfana, and Jamie McKelvey. It's a lot of people.
I'll take her Miss Marvel over Carol Danvers Miss Marvel any day.
Facts.
Any
Sorry,
day.
Mashko.
Sorry, I'm not a big fan. Well, no, I like Captain Marvel is a little different than Miss Marvel, but Miss Marvel
Talking
is
about Brie?
No, I'm talking about before Brie. Brie is Captain. No, I'm talking about the one who in House of M decided to be popular. That was her big story arc, is that people liked her.
You love me. You really
Miss-
love me.
The more you learn about Miss Marvel and Carol Danvers, the worse that story gets.
Yeah.
All right, well, what's going on in conspiracy theory land there, Buzz? What's happening with?
Oh, yeah. I also
with-
read that.
That's a tough book to describe. Lee Harvey Oswald is approaching the current president, I think, and exposing the
suggested.
Department of Truth. Is
exposing them? You said? Oh, that's cool.
he's going to the current president of our time now with the Department of Truth information, because what they're realizing is that Black Hat, who is kind of like, I guess would be like considered like an Illuminati type thing, has realized how to like incur on the reality and like make people believe like what they want them to believe about the world, and that these guys have been fighting that the whole time because they've been in the dark. They haven't been able to win, so they're about to go public with the Department of Truth.
That's cool. That's a cool twist for that.
They
Great book,
literally
man.
at the end say, what does he say? We're gonna make America great again, something like that.
Yeah. But
Like
I mean,
literally.
the way they drop that line though, like the lead up to
Yeah.
it is like, okay, yeah, well if you expose all of that demons are real and all this stuff, like maybe you will make America great again.
I don't know if
It's
demons.
it's 30 issues to get to that line though. You know what I mean? And like
Right, yeah.
every issue is worth reading to figure out what the hell they're talking about, which is basically the idea that you can make any idea or reality grow here. If you push it hard enough, people will believe it, even if it's bad for them, and you can shape the world with it. And they're basically using the idea of impressing reality on the public as a way to like shape the world.
Well,
So,
because
like-
of the two of you, I'm going. That is one book I'm going to binge, and Something Is Killing the Children are the two binge books that I've got.
Yeah.
Those are the two I really want to muscle
I
through.
think now that we've gotten to this point in Department of Truth, it does feel like it's coming to an end.
Right.
Like
yeah.
maybe 2 issues as they wrap up this kind of final thing.
Oh, perfect.
And
And they've sold the rights for a television show a while ago, so I would love for it to translate into that because it's kind of horrific and it plays a little like the X-Files, but with like a much more Aleister Crowley like backlight on the whole thing.
Netflix.
Yeah, 100%.
It'll be a Netflix.
Yeah, I hope
thing.
it makes it.
It'll be a Netflix thing. All right. Well, what else happened? What about The Mummy?
The Mummy actually was a pretty poetic and sort of like love story. You know, they they have the Imhotep mummy obviously, and Helen, who is like, it's almost like Dracula again, where it's like he sees his love in the modern time, and she's connected to him. And
This is the monster universe
this is the Universal Monster Skybound stuff. Yeah.
now, but this isn't have anything to do with the Mummy movie that they try to make within the same world, right?
Not the movie. So these concepts are so old and public
No,
domain.
not
you can
that
kind
one.
of you can
Not
kind
the
of spin
Scorpion
them.
King.
Oh, the Tom Cruise one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Tom Cruise. Yeah, the one.
Nah, this is I forget the writer and artist. Her name is Faith Hicks, I think. But yeah, she's writing and drawing herself, and it's kind of like it's a little more. It's cartoony. It's a little it's a little light. It's not like a heavy, dark horror book. I think it's like if a kid wanted to read something about the Mummy, it would be a safe book to read.
Oh, that's kind of a shame
All
because
right.
I love the Creature
No,
of the
for
Black
real,
Lagoon.
because
Was
the
really good.
Frankenstein run from the Skybound Image stuff for Universal was an awesome read, and I heavily recommend anybody read that. Just read it because they do some things in it where they expand on like the movie plots into the comic, and it was almost like an expansion from the original movie in the comic when it comes to Frankenstein.
I
The
love
Mummy
it.
was a little tamer, but I
Well,
thought
where-
it was good.
The only one I read was Creature of the Black Lagoon. Where would you put that?
I would put that above the Mummy in the 3. I would say the
liked
Frankenstein, then Tinian's Dracula, who was also drawn by Martin Simmons, who does Department of Truth with him, and then I would put Creature and the Mummy at the bottom.
Oh, damn.
I hate
Creature
I
is
hate
bottom
that,
of the barrel.
I don't want to. I'm not knocking on the book. I read. I'm still going to read all 4 issues over 6 or whatever it is, but it's just like it has some good covers, but creatively I would have done something much more horrific with the Mummy. But it's a little more of like a love story.
Well, they kind of did that with Creature of the Black Lagoon. Remember, there was like the assassin in the woods or in the swamp that it's like following her around while there's a killer that's also tracking her.
Yeah.
So he becomes somewhat of a guardian in a weird, demented way. It was a
Yeah,
good book. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I feel like
Couple-
they do that they can do that with the monsters. Is they can make them heroic sometimes.
Couple bits of info on Faith Erin Hicks.
Yeah.
She also did a Last of Us book.
Oh, cool. It's comic related. We can talk about it.
That's right. But also a bunch of Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Oh, good. The good one. Got it.
Yeah, she's
I
got
got
really
nervous
cool,
for a second there.
She's got a cool art style, and it's fun. It's easy on the eyes, and I think there's like in issue 1, she had like a letter to the reader about how she had lost her father or something, and she had was using some of the grief to help her write the longing love story between the two, and she keeps using the term death just the beginning or something like that.
All right. Well,
Bunch of Bigfoot.
well, all right. Well, I feel like, what do we got left? I think, Lance, you got a couple books, and Features, you got a couple books?
And I think we actually went over all the ones that I read. Because I
Yeah,
read most of everything. The only extra I had was Giant Size X-Men.
No, and you talked about that. All right. Well, what about last one then? Superman.
Superman, y'all talked about last week. It was great for all the reasons y'all talked about last week. But I did read Batman and Robin Year One. That continues to be top 3 Batman books.
Oh.
What?
No, it's
For
spoiler
those of you
him.
listening, it seems like Menti doesn't want to hear what Lance is about to say.
I'm not going to say
Continue.
anything spoiler.
Oh, are you talking to me? Because I can't hear you.
It's good. It continues to be good. It's a pull list book for me, and yeah, pick it up. It's good.
You didn't say anything. I didn't have to take my headphones off at all for that.
Yep. Oh, and at the end,
No!
God.
All right. Well, as far as this week, get out to your shop because you've got a lot of cool things. Absolute Superman's this week. Ultimate Wolverine's this week. Absolute Green Lanterns this week. You got X-Men. You got Amazing Spider-Man. The Ultimate Spider-Man crossover, the Incursion one, where that's Miles' story. That's also this week. So this is another good week in a row. We had that one real iffy week and then just kind of mollywopped 2 weeks in a row. So Jedi Knight, that's another one that I can't wait for. Justice League Godzilla Kong 2 is this week. Man, that's rough. Thundercats is still going. Are you reading that, Moshko?
Not really.
No.
They've branched off now to like side stories. So, yeah.
I'm sorry. That took me a second to realize what he That was great.
Sorry, I talked all over it.
Oh,
good.
wow. Well, that was the best way. I'm not even going to try. We're just gonna end with no. All right. Well, once again, thank you everybody for holding it down for the last couple of weeks. Thank you for the messages that I got from some of you guys. I appreciate that and the kind words. While my family was dealing with some things, so this is I feel rusty, but I'm happy to be back. So. And I'm also happy to see you, Lance.
Yeah, I'm happy to see you too.
You need a haircut, you hippie. But past that, all right. Well, thanks for tuning in. I don't even remember the outro, to be honest with you. Just gonna say we appreciate. I'm sure I've seen a lot of Moshko's videos doing well on the socials, so we appreciate the support there. I love that Features did another Womp Womp video. That was a lot of fun. So appreciate that and all the support behind those as well. And once again, I'm Menti.
And
Moshko, make sure to follow us, like us, subscribe to us, give us comments, inform us what you think about what's going on with this show. The more comments we get, the more we get to interact, and also we're putting some polls up.
Oh, we were supposed to do some more cowbell today.
Oh, that's right.
Cowbell.
we needed cowbell.
Yes,
Someone download
we
an
need
app
more
or something.
cowbell.
Cowbell.
Bing.
Or did I miss?
Yeah,
I missed
Yeah,
that
that
one.
was.
We said, "What do you guys want us to talk about?" And somebody said, "More cowbell."
That's
I didn't even say who said it. I think it was Taco.
Yeah.
I forget it, from Comic Universe.
oh, okay.
More cowbell.
More cowbell.
I was thinking
That's a
the
good one.
league.
Anyway, follow us on the socials. Tell a friend. That's the big one.
Also, remember that Buzz does commissions, so
Yeah.
reach out to us for that if that's something that you want as well, because that's definitely something that I'm sure Buzz could accommodate if
me up.
Yep.
if you need it. So, that's one of the beautiful things about having Buzz here. You help us with our engagement and get yourself a goddamn book.
Custom sketch. Hit me up on Instagram.
All right, well, yeah. Once again, I'm Menti. Once
Moshko.
again, he's Moshko.
I'm Features.
I'm Buzz.
I'm Lance, and feel free to tell me how wrong I am about Ultimate Spider-Man in the comments. I'll be there to fight you a little bit.
Yeah, he doesn't have a leg to stand on, so it'll be an easy win.
Yeah. This isn't like your Cyclops sucks argument.
Yeah, that one's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I can't.
Although I will say, Free Comic Book Day. Now that Lance is actually on here, Free Comic Book Day. Cyclops kicked some ass. That book, wasn't ready for that. Storm got mollywopped. Dude, everybody got mollywopped by Cyclops. So on that note, he didn't suck. Deuces.
Excelsior.
All right.
That's that.
That's that.